This is from the New York Post. The U.S. federal government is secretly, that's the first red flag, when the U.S. federal government is secretly doing anything. Secretly ordering Google and other search engines to track and provide data on anyone who searches certain terms through what's called keyword warrants. So have you ever heard that term before? A keyword warrant. What in the world is this? The only reason we know about this, or let me back it up. We've known about this being done twice, but there was an accidentally unsealed warrant that Forbes, some writer at Forbes found, that reveals that this is far more frequent than we ever thought. A keyword warrant. Okay, put a pause here. This is the depravity of man. Whenever a privacy issue comes up, all the leftists, nearly every liberal, and even most conservatives will say, I have nothing to hide. No big deal. Who cares? I got nothing to hide. Sure, you want to search everyone's bank accounts and monitor every transaction? No problem. I have nothing to hide. You want to monitor everywhere I travel, everywhere I drive? No problem. I got nothing to hide. You want to track where all the gun owners are? Sure, fine, whatever. I got nothing to hide. It's like, no, I know, you're great. I get it. That's not the point. It's not about you. It's about them. Don't trust them. You think they're good people? They're not. They frame these things, saying, this is used to catch child molesters. Right? They just do that to get you to agree to it. And then it will always be used against you for reasons that you never would have agreed to on the front end. And they know that. Or if you want to give them a little more benefit of the doubt, fine. Maybe they have good intentions in the beginning, but it will always morph and transform into something much, much worse. And this is an example of that. The earliest case we know of a keyword warrant was in 2017. A Minnesota judge signed off on an order asking Google to provide data on any user within the city of Adena who searched for a fraud victim's name. Okay, so how did that work? There's a fraud victim. We got to find out who defrauded them. Okay, so the government goes to Google and says, hey, Google, we want everybody who's Googled this person's name, anyone from Adena who's Googled this person's name in the last time period. Okay, well, let's have 10 people Googled their name. Great, we're going to go talk to those 10 people and find out if any of them defrauded this person, right? That's what that is. In Wisconsin, this is 2019. Police were searching for a man who they think was sex trafficking a minor. So they ordered Google to provide any information on users, including account names, IP addresses, cookie IDs, that searched the victim's name, 2 spellings of the mother's name, and her address over 16 days throughout the year. All right, so again, anyone who Googled this person's name, that's a keyword warrant. The third use, this warrant requested information on anyone who searched for an address of an arson victim. Right, so who committed arson on this person? Well, we don't know, but let's find anyone who Googled their name or Googled their address, who is also a witness in the government's racketeering case against R. Kelly. That's a little weird part of that whole story. Right, does that make sense? So that's what that is. Now, it's very easy to look at these stories, especially if you come from a law enforcement background or whatever, and say, Slater, come on. This is about police catching the bad guys. Okay. Also know that this is a brand new tool in the hands of the government. They're in the hands of people, and people, depravity of man. Not only that, but now they're operating inside of a system that has no accountability. Systems don't. That is bound to be corrupted. The search terms are going to get more and more broad. And the terms are going to get more and more benign. Right? So it's not going to be, we're just looking for people in this city who Google this name over this time period. It's going to be anyone in the country who Googles these broad things are going to be put on a list of domestic terrorists. And it'll start off with things that no one will bother, like pipe bombs. Anyone who Googles pipe bombs, they're going to be put on a list. And then it's going to be more political things, and it's always going to be the fringe things, right? It'll be QAnon. Anyone who Googles QAnon, you're going to be put on a list. Then it's going to be more and more normal things, anti-vax, truth of COVID, Project Veritas. You see how this works? Whatever terms they deem to be problematic, that's what they're going to put the kibosh on. There's a fourth warrant that we know of, but this is how vague this warrant is. It's an application. This is what it's called, and this is all we know. Application by the United States for a search warrant for Google accounts associated with 6 search terms and 4 search dates. That's it. What terms? We don't know. This is a First Amendment freedom of speech issue. This is limiting and chilling speech, chilling what you Google, right? What you search for on the internet for fear of the FBI calling you. And it's a Fourth Amendment issue, search and seizure. Is your Google search government property? Now listen, if someone's a suspect in a trial, then the government can go to Google and ask for that person's search history, just like they could get a warrant for anything else, any of their filing cabinets in their home or something. That's fine, no problem whatsoever. But casting this giant net for any keyword, no. Why? Because I don't trust them. Why? Because of the depravity of man and the unaccountability of systems. Not to mention, this has all been done in secret. The only reason we really know about this is because there was a warrant that was accidentally unsealed by the Department of Justice. Some reporter found it, and then they sealed it back up again. So we're not even supposed to know this is a thing. You don't think it'll be abused? Nothing is worth infringing on your rights. Everyone needs to get this straight. Because once you hand them over for any reason, they're gone. You'll never get them back. It's a miracle that our founders even recognized these God-given rights and government-protected rights in the first place. And we're going to hand them over to a bunch of scoundrels in D.C.?
Wow. That was deep and insightful. I want more of that.
Like, subscribe, get more.